Hey, and welcome to the show. This show is brought to you by Patreon members like you.
Thank you for being a Patreon member.
As a Patreon member, you get a video of the podcast that we put out twice a month.
Now, on with the show. Nice. Good job, Dean.
That was my fault. Today is my
What's up, Luis? Hey, guys.
All right, we got audio now.
Yeah.
We weren't saying anything that was important anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
All right.
What is up, everyone? Is the RTA Pro promo still going on? I almost have enough. Yes. So it's still going on. And if it isn't, and let me know, because I'll make sure you get it. Because they're not going to.
You can call somebody.
I know a few guys over there that. And speaking of AudioControl, for those of you guys that don't know or don't follow AudioControl, every Thursday they do open to the public. Doesn't matter. Open to everybody. Matthew does a show, and this Thursday I'm going to be on it. So if you're on their Facebook page, or if you've ever done their Zoom, we'll be there. Hey, and speaking of AudioControl's Chris Bennett, they were just asking, the guy's almost got his money saved up for his DMRTA Pro, and he wanted to make sure that the promo code 5-star was still good. And I said, as far as I know, it's still good. If it isn't, let me know, because I know a guy.
I know a guy that knows the guy.
This is the code here. So for those of you that are interested in having the tool, now a funny story, and I, you know me, I'm a story guy. What's up from Impression Audio in Northern Cali? Hey,
what's up?
Quickie Biamp full active if using a DSR. Quickie Biamp or full active if using DSR1.
I mean, you can go.
I go full active.
You can go either way.
If you know the crossover points, go full active for sure. I think that would be fine. Anyways, real quick, I want to tell a story. Keep chiming in, guys. We'll get to you. We'll just let us know where you're at and what the weather's like. You know how it goes. What's up, Jason? So a guy calls me. A friend of mine calls me yesterday, and he was asking me about 2 cars that they had that they had to do services on, and they were having problems. And I'm like, this is a shop. I said, do you have an RTA? And he goes, yeah, I think there's one over in the corner. It's got like 6 pounds of dust. And email me at chris@control.com. So if I can't help you. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Chris. Anyways, I said, do you have an RTA? He goes, yeah, yeah. And I was like, dude, every problem that you're having could easily be seen if you were using an RTA. Like, we use an RTA for everything. Anytime a car comes in that we've never seen before or we've seen before, testing for automatic noise canceling, testing for any type of fake engine noise, all these things can be done with an RTA. If you have something where low resistors and the system is shutting off, you don't know if it needs low resistors or not. If you have an RTA connected to the output of the radio, you will see, as the video showed the other day, there is no sound coming out. We recently had a problem with a DSP. We actually had 2 problems with DSPs that came in over the weekend or last week. That it was like just perplexing problems, and one of them was there was a problem with the actual DSP wasn't passing audio through the DSP, and it was real easy to see because we put an RTA going into the DSP, we had an RTA on the output of the DSP, sound would come in, sound would not go out. We're looking at all the software, we're trying different inputs, and we could see what is happening because we were using an RTA.
Yep.
The second problem we had was with another DSP where there was a bad Toshlink cable. Of all things, bad Toshlink. Now a Toshlink, you look at it, there's a little red light that's flashing, it should work. But we have a tester we plug that tester into an RTA, and we could see there was no signal. And then we plug in a new Toshlink, or SPDIF, or whatever you want to call it, and we could see the signal. So it was like, I could have sat there and put a brand new DSP in there, thinking that was the problem, or used an RTA and known right away. We were on the bench. I actually called one of the manufacturers like, hey, and their processor happens to have an RTA built into it. And he goes, well, just try plugging something in, non-Toshlink. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, the RTA built into the processor started dancing. And I was like, all right, well, we know that it's not this. And so, the RTA as a tool, whether you're a hobbyist or you're a professional whatever you are, if you're watching this show, you should be saving up. If you're taking this serious in any way, shape, or form, and you don't have an RTA of some kind, you're not really taking it serious.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the first one that starts with an H on that.
What's up,
if
Bill?
you got the money, go with that.
Christopher McNulty.
Is McNulty here?
Is McNulty
Hey.
here?
Second thing I wanted to point out, we had a customer drop this off, and it's upside down.
It's upside down.
How many of you guys remember this? The Sherwood 240. I've often talked about this.
Forward.
I've often talked about this as one of the. This is not mine, of course. It's mine now, but this is the amplifier. They had a Sherwood 240 and a Sherwood 180. I had one of these when I was a young lad getting into car audio. This was one of the amplifiers that just like, yeah, this guy right here. And someone brought it in and like, hey, you want? Yeah, I'll take it. I definitely want it because this is a piece of history right here. Now, the funny part of this is this is a 240 watt amplifier. Hold this for a second, please. 240 watts. This is a SoundDigital prototype 3001.
What?
Okay, it gets better. Hold on. So this is the Nano.
Apparently it's hot.
Apparently it's hot. It's prototype, man. I didn't break it. I didn't hurt myself this time. But I did take off the mount for the screw. Alright, so that just slides on. Alright, I'm not having any luck with these. This is the 5001 Evo prototype. I just took this off, so it didn't break. These made to slide off. Okay, but this is the 5001. So this is a 5000 watt amplifier. Yeah. Okay, this is today. This is the 90s, or even the 80s. Yeah, this is the 80s. I think this is 80s. Yeah, this has got to be 80s, like late 80s, early 90s.
That's heavy. Dude.
No, it's got to be 80s because I was still in high school and I graduated in 90. Shush. So yeah, this is like 80s. This is now 5,000 watts, 3,000 watts, 240 watts. Okay, it's crazy. All right, I'm just gonna leave these here. If you guys want to comment, go right ahead. I just think it's funny. What did I do? I popped it. There we go. Perfect. All right. So, with that being said, we hope everyone had a spectacular weekend. And let's get to some Q&A.
Q&A. All right. 8788. There you go.
8788. Yeah, exactly, 84.
Right? It's
sure, yes. Right, Jeff? 5,000 watts of SoundDigital Evo series. This is the next thing going on the quad box, by the way. It's got a 0 gauge input, so this is a prototype, as it says here, 1 ohm prototype. So this is gonna go on the quad box and just beat the shit out of it. Best way to wire a remote switch for my amps.
I'm assuming he has some multiple amplifiers.
So that question can be so many different questions. So the best way would be like if I don't have a remote turn on in my car, how would I hook it up? Mm-hmm. Or if I have multiple amplifiers and need to hook up a remote turn on. So it's kind of hard to guess. The answer to the question, if you have a car that doesn't have a remote turn on, because let's say you have a factory radio, most amplifiers now have DC offset. Some high-level to low-level adapters have DC offset. We just did a video talking about DC offset, so I would go check that out. It was like last week. And we also did one on how to find a remote turn-on, meaning not actually physically find one, but there are devices you can buy. So you can buy a Ignition 3 from PAC, which is it looks at the car, and when the car is running, it creates a remote turn-on. When the car is off, it shuts off. You have the TR4, which is a low voltage trigger. Basically looks for the DC offset on the speaker. We ended up just using one of those last weekend off of the center channel in F-150 to turn on the amplifiers. So there's a couple different methods you can use, and then yeah, check that out. I graduated in 91. There you go. When is Dean's Car Audio Museum tour coming? Most of it's still in my mind. Sherwood and Blood Pond.
Did you took the Phoenix Gold? No, it's still there.
No, Phoenix Gold's still sitting there. Jeff
All right.
has the Phoenix Gold Museum. I don't know hear about it. My
That's
first amp
right,
was
yes.
Alpha Sonic.
Yeah.
Ooh, Alpha Sonic.
What is
yeah.
the 80 what? 86, 89?
What are we talking about?
The amplifier that he has?
Oh, I don't know.
Big.
Route 66.
Yeah, right. There you go.
My first amp? Okay. Question. Would it be better to have two Rockford Fosgate 751 BDs, each powering a T112 at 1 ohm, or one Rockford Fosgate 1501 powering the 212s? That comes down to space. At the end of the day, that is a 100% space question. If you have the room for the big amp, I would just get the big amp. If you don't have the room for the big amp, the two small amps are small and sexy and easy to put away. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably do this at two 750.1s because it's probably the same amount of power, because most of the time the 1500 comes somewhere between 1800 watts, and most of those 750.1s come between 850 and 900 watts on the burst certificate. So I think power wise, same amount of power. One nice thing is, obviously, the size of the wire. You just have to use one 4-gauge, which, that's the same on both. You need distribution block. I don't know. I would look at space if or if you just want to do something different.
All right, so we have Tiger King over here.
It's Ray. Yeah, I know that guy.
That's all right.
I like his thing.
I know.
Yeah, it's like...
All right, I bought full cal flags, two-way components. I currently have an Addison...
Bit one.
Yeah,
it's a bit one.
And a DD 150 times 2.
Yeah, AB class.
SAB, yeah.
All right, so he's pondering the idea
of the D 4.800
to cut down on the amp and the DSP rather than a mono separate. Yeah, it's a 2020 Subaru Crosstack. I like to keep berthing compartment and saving. Okay, thoughts. I like your thoughts. I like the idea of going with the D4.800 and cutting back on the all the nonsense that is external everything. Anytime I'm designing a system, like I'm working with somebody right now, and one of the things is space. Like, there's only so much room that we have to deal with what are we going to do. And we had some of the ideas we had were great, but it's where are we going to put it? So a lot of the times, AudioControl is big power with DSPs built into them. That is their niche in the car audio world, is you get 120 by 4 and you get a DSP on top of it. It's man, as much as I love the smaller footprint 8-channel DSPs, sometimes you just want power. And if you have the Flax, you just want power. So I would definitely think about upgrading over to that amplifier. It's a good idea.
Alright, so planning of running full cal K2 components front and coaxials in the back.
Yeah.
And the AudioControl D6-1200 active setup. Do you still need the crossovers?
So if you're going to do an active setup, so this is actually one of the cars I'm dealing with right now. So because the new premium 2020 Explorer has a 3-way set in the doors.
2020?
Yeah, 2020 has a 3-way. It has a tablet in the dash.
It's
ridiculous. Anyways, if you're going to go full active, so if you're going to use a D6-1200 AudioControl to power tweeter at 1 and 2, mid-range 3 and 4, rear 5 and 6, and then the output to go to an LC 1.800 or whatever sub-amp you have, you don't need any passive crossovers. You can go full active to the crossovers. Now, or to the speakers. What I would strongly recommend is giving Focal or Orca a call. Sage there will probably pick up the phone, or Nick, and ask them what their crossover points that they like to have those things crossed over at, and then do exactly what they recommend. Focal often likes to, when we're talking about doing crossover ports using the tweeters FS and stuff like that, they're a 4 times guy. They like to, so usually they tell you to cross their tweeters over at 5,000. But yeah, that's up to you. But yeah, you could definitely do full active. It would be fine. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Let me turn that off.
All right.
Sorry.
When using a DSP, I only need to hook up one pair of RCAs for my radio, or what?
Okay. So the question is, when doing a DSP,
you have
what do I need for a source? What do I need to feed into my DSP? Do I need front rear sub? Do I need just fronts? If we're using a source unit that has RC output, So that could be either an aftermarket head unit or something like an Amp Pro or something along like a Zen or anything like that that has RCAs going out. If you want fader, meaning the ability to go between front and rear, and subwoofer level control in the deck, you want those to function, then run 6 RCA inputs if it has 6 channels of input. If you're going to be doing something at the SPDIF Toslink interface, that is a 2-channel right and left. So you just run a standard out and in, and that would be it. But all you really need at the end of the day, you need a left and you need a right. And that's everything. That's all that you need. Depending on, now when you're doing like an Amp Pro, you're going to want all 4 unless there's a switch on it that tells it, are you doing 2-channel audio? Because what they try to redo is in the factory you have backup sensors in the back and you have sensors in the front, and they try to keep those where they need to be. And if you don't have front and rear hooked up, then you're not going to get the rear sensors at all. They're just not going to make sound. So they have a switch in there to say 2-channel audio, and then you just get a right and a left, and then all those sensors are fed through that. So sensors aside, you need a left, you need a right. If you want control from the head unit, then go multiple channel. That's it.
I'm wild. I cross my Twitters at 3500. Yeah, well, yeah.
Now to go 32. Let's just take the pants all the way down.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Can a fix 88 subwoofer channel be summed? Why would you want to? So it says a fix 88. Can you? I don't know.
Okay, so the question is, does the JL Fix 86 sums the subwoofer channel when only connecting the 4-channel from the stock radio? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, if you really want to know about the Fix 86, we did a no, it's a tweak. When you're the flow chart at the beginning, when you're telling it your inputs and your outputs, that's where you have to set up your what you want it to do. So you'd have input 1 and 2 going off to outputs 1 and 2, and then outputs 5 and 6. So, and then inputs 3 and 4 going down, and then out to outputs 3 and 4. You can also take them and go off to 5 and 6. So you can have like all 4 inputs going into 5 and 6, or you can just come off of channel 1 and 2. I'd probably just come off channel 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, pick the one. But yeah, you direct it where it needs to be. There again, you only need inputs 1 and 2, because if you have inputs 1 and 2, and it's a full range input, so let's say you're dealing with, let's say, a basic Honda Accord that doesn't have premium sound. Inputs 1, inputs 2, or outputs 1, outputs 2, they're as full range as it's going to get. There's nothing in the rear channels that are going to add to these 2 channels. So if you have a fix, then all you really need to do is grab inputs 1, inputs 2, and you can feed those to all your outputs. That's pretty much it for any DSP. I know, so the fix, you have a fix and you have the tweak. It's basically, you have to buy 2 pieces to make 1 DSP.
Mm-hmm. What's up, William?
William, we got your package today. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. So thank you.
And
High Five Vega. What's up?
Man? Yeah. All right. Speaking of SoundDigital,
yes.
Have you guys done anything with Ground Zero? If you so, what are your opinions, since it's not a lot of people running it?
So we actually have a full SoundDigital system that's getting ready to go into his wife's car, the Ultima. We're doing that's what you saw, the sound treatment video we did. We have a part 2 to that. It's going to be coming out probably next week, and then we're going to be working on moving into the rest of the product. It's a company that we're starting to work with, and we're really excited so far as all the stuff we've seen from them. It's really cool. We have a couple amplifiers that we've been playing with. One in particular I'm excited about is they have a 4-channel They have a 4-channel powered DSP. So it's got 4 channels of amplification and DSP along with output to go to a subwoofer, and it's smaller. So I like those things. So we'll be doing more with that. So just stay tuned with that. But yeah.
All right, Luis.
So far so good.
Luis, no, solamente ponle en la parte de arriba Roadkill y asegúrate que el Ultimate de Roadkill también lo pongas en el plástico donde va a cubrir todo el metal. Nada más.
So on the D6-1200, you can run channels 1 through 4 at 2 ohm, and then run channels 5 and 6 at 4 ohm bridged, if that's what you're asking, yeah, you can totally do that. Make sure that you do run a 0 gauge to it, though. It's asking for a 0 gauge. Don't run anything other than a 0 gauge to it, because it's going to need it. Think of changing the hertz components to morel tempos. Which ones would be better? Oh man, that's a funny one. Hey Victor, what do you think?
What's up, Victor?
What do you think, Victor?
Rafa.
You have the 692s.
692s, yeah.
Yeah, then we put those as a Toyota, right? The Morel 692s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like music and if you listen to things that primarily have instruments, okay, like lots of instruments, not this techno digital stuff, you're really gonna enjoy the Morels. But they're very similar to those millis. Okay, I'm sorry, to the hertz.
Energies.
But the energy is going to be, the energy is called energy because it's just, are they high energy or just energy?
Energy.
Just energy. Oh, well, if they're just energy, screw it, do the Morels. Yeah, I was thinking high energy. Yeah, but there is a difference, but you'll love them. Yeah.
I think it's energy only.
Yeah, it said energy, I saw it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I caught it when you were flipping through.
Anyway.
Have
you had a chance to see the ins and outs of the XDGM31, the new DSP?
Yeah, that doesn't retain the backup camera.
For the 2019?
No.
We haven't.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I think SoundDigital is crushing audio now. Yeah, right? I mean, 5,000 watts. Look at that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oof, man.
This is
can't
cool.
wait. So hopefully the plan is to get this. I mean, realistically, we're probably gonna skip over the 3,000, even though I don't want to. We might skip over this and just go directly to the 5,000, just because I want to hear this one. I don't know. I know it's gonna.
Let's test that. We can.
All right, so we'll do this one first.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into this one. Okay. Man, that's tough.
No, it's not.
I know, but I just want to have it.
What's the difference? Okay, what will be the difference between using optical, coax, and RCA into the DSP, and which one is better?
Okay, so things you have to know about optical, Tosh, SPDIF, call it what you want, and there he is, Tommy. Those are the Evo X amps, by the way. Don't have the new boxes yet. Oh, so we got the boxes wrong. Those are the old boxes. These are Evo X.
Okay. Sounds good.
So
we don't have boxes.
We don't have boxes. These are the old boxes. So anyways, these are Evo X. Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Anyways, who cares? So something to know about the okay. First thing you have to know is, does the Tosh link you're planning on using, or SPDIF, work from the volume knob? So if you do this on your source unit, does it turn up and down? Not all of them do. Okay, some of them don't. You look at a high 10 and elevate, those do. You look at the Amp Pros, those do. You look at the Zen, those do. You look at a Sony, no, GS9 doesn't do that. You look at an Alpine, older Alpine, those don't do it either. So not all of them have the volume control. So that's kind of key. Now, if you're going out to a out to a DSP, and you have a DRC style controller, and you have a knob there, and you want to use that all the time, that's not a big deal. But if you have steering wheel controls, you are going to lose them. So that's the first thing you consider when you're talking about it. Now, the second thing is, which DAC or digital analog converter is better? Okay, so is the one that is in the interface or the radio better than the one that's in the DSP? That's key, because, so for example, of the Sony, the Saber DAC that is in the GS9 is pretty much the baddest bitch on the block. There's really no point in converting that over. Just go RCA's out. It's doing a nice clean conversion. RCA's out, and in the amplifier, you're getting the best sound possible. Okay, the only difference is, am I going to pick up any noise over those RCAs? So, of course, you use high-end RCAs out of the radio. I think yours is using the Stinger X3s, the pretty ones. So you have the best. Now you're just looking at transfer. So how do I transfer sound from here to here? Use a really high-quality RCA. You'd never use something like a 4000. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but you'd want the best possible to make sure that you're getting all of that sound through the pipe to the end. Now, if you're using something like an Amp Pro, and not to say that their DAC is bad, their DAC is fine, but chances are good the DSP that you're going to use, if you spent a decent amount of money on it, is going to have a better DAC built into it. So then you want to come out of that into that DAC and let that do all its conversion back there. There again, now you don't have to buy the really expensive RCAs because you're not going to need them. You can use them going out of the DSP to the amplifiers, and they're much shorter runs and much more affordable. But that's really, it just depends on where the digital analog is happening. So at some point it has to go to analog, and you just want to make sure that the whole way through you're using the best that you have in the system. You wouldn't want to use you wouldn't want to have like it done in a crap. Like if this got a great DAC and this has a crappy DAC, you'd want to use the good DAC. So always use the best one that you have access to, and that would be how you'd think of that.
All right. Should I worry about the exit?
The excess.
The excess of power for the 4800 for the focal side. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it says 15 watts nominal. So
also, okay. So hang
yeah.
on. He say also if I go active.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. If I go active.
Yeah, if you go active. So the thing. Okay, first things first. When doing a DSP like that and doing a DSP amp, always keep the input sensitivity down as low as possible. Like on the AudioControl, it's done in the software. Just keep the input sensitivity down low. Low as it'll go, especially on the tweeters. But with tweeters, you have to remember, even though the amplifier puts out, let's say, 150 watts per channel, it's not going to be putting out your tweeter will never see that, okay? Because of the way the sound is recorded and it works, and you'll be lucky to get. You're not going to get anywhere near 150 watts at the tweeter. It's just not how it works. A person who's a big advocate of talking about this a lot is Andy Waymeyer of Audio Frog. This is one of his like pet peeves, and we've talked. It's like I would love to get him on the show at some time and just talk about powers to tweeters, and just how this whole thing breaks down and works.
Yeah.
And 0 dB on tweeters always. I mean, anytime we set up a tweeter, it's always 0 dB. We don't do any. We don't need it. There's more than enough power to do what you need to do.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly.
A tweeter will never see 100 watts. It never will. And if it does, you will blow it for sure.
We'll never see it.
Gone. Yeah, I mean.
Thank you, Victor.
And trust me, it happens. I mean, like if. Like that's why, like when you're doing gain matching and stuff like that, they always say disconnect the speakers. If you want 1,000 hertz test tone at 0 dB through a system, you're going to freaking kill your speakers. So I keep all my test tones in Dropbox. They never make it into my iTunes playlist for that specific reason. If I'm ever on random shuffle, I don't want to be jamming out to something and have a 0 dB 40 hertz or 0 dB 1,000 hertz test tone start playing through my system. It will launch a tweeter and kill it like that, man. It'll smoke a crossover like it was 420, baby. And it'll just be like, whoa. And you won't be high, you'll be pissed. And trust me, it happens. We get it. We've done it. I mean, I'm a firm believer in you got to learn, right? When someone tells you don't put your finger in the outlet, what do you do when they turn around? You put your finger in the outlet and go, oh, he was right. Okay, so I'm not just going to sit here and tell you don't do it. I've done it. Okay?
Yeah.
And yeah, when you're tired and you're like, oh, I've unplugged the speakers after the crossovers, and you're testing it, and the next thing you know, the crossovers are basically smoking in the back, and you're going, oh, I forgot to unplug it before the passive crossovers.
Oh, you have to unplug it.
Damn it.
Robert Reinhold, what's up, man?
Super tweeters, 200 watts for the win. There again, you'll never get 200 watts to them. All right, let's look at it like this. Let's play the practical person here when it comes to tweeters. All right, I wish I had one out.
What?
Just a tweeter.
I have one.
Do you have a quick tweeter? Yeah. What we really need is a subwoofer. All right, you know what? Hang on.
We have a subwoofer right here.
I got this.
That's huge.
No, but this will be perfect because I want to see.
Hang on.
Okay.
You got it?
I got it.
I was about to grab this.
No, I got this because this is cool. So let's look at this for a minute. All right, see these tinsel leads right here? This is a Q class, so this handles what, like 1,000 watts or something like that. So this is a Q class. Look at the size of those tinsel leads. Okay, this is a Focal KRX K2. Yeah. This is the bigger one, the more expensive one. Like, and you look at like these little tiny ones. They're little tiny things like dental floss. Okay, now this guy, you know, this is their high-end tweeter. This is you know, the next thing up from this is the M, okay, or the Beryllium M tweeter that they make. And
oh damn,
there's no way that these tweeters, now they could put a stupid rating on this that says like 250 watts, and no, how in the heck is this dental floss? Like, all you guys have looked at tweeters before, and it's microscopic, the thin wire and the voice coil on these things. It's nothing. It's not magical, okay? There's no magic that says I can put 1,000 watts to this and it'll eat it up all day. It's you know, no, it doesn't work like that, guys. Used to lose lots of tweeter in the passive crossover days. yeah, no doubt, because they don't like distortion. 1,000 hertz, you're gonna kill your ears. Nah, not mine. They're already gone. Utopias, yeah, Utopiams, exactly. Yeah. The M class, yeah, Utopias, baby. 1,000 hertz test track, yeah. I mean, everyone's done it. Think of a chain. Okay, we already read that one. Okay, yeah. Cool. Super tweeters.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. By the way, this is why we keep this, just so we can. So, isn't that cool? Like, you know how much money it costs to design this whole structure right here? This is like the most ridiculous thing ever
that we ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah, like the story of designing this stupid piece of plastic. And the reason why it's designed like this is so that most people think that, like, you have a woofer and it moves, that the air is going to push and pull out of here. It actually doesn't do that. It gets trapped inside of this and just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. They had to spend and they assumed the same thing, and they were wrong, and they had to design this whole apparatus to help move air through the woofer better.
Yeah. All right. Where is the best place to put an amplifier and a subwoofer in a 1996 F-150? Oof.
1996 F-150?
With a bench seat.
Oh, with a bench seat.
1996. I mean, it's
underneath the back seat somewhere. Or, yeah, I mean, you
under the seat? Was
it a 2-door or a 4-door? Or a 3-door? That'd be a 3-door. So if it's, or a 2-door, that might even be a 2-door on one of the sides, maybe? I don't know. Follow Dean and Fernando car stereo clips. Yeah, I gotta get some more of those out this week.
Yes, thanks, man.
Got to go, boys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Victor.
Audison subs versus Hertz sub, difference in sound. Yeah, so I always like to think of Hertz and Audison like this: wine and cheese, beer and pretzels. Okay, they both sound amazing. They're both really good. Okay, you know, because you have exotic beers now that just are probably
I didn't even have
better than wine
money
and cheese.
For those pretzels.
But wine and cheese, beer and pretzels. If you want to get down and dirty, loud, crazy, that's what Hertz was designed to do. Hertz was designed to just be Hertz. Audison is more of a refined, you know, musical. They're both musical, but these are, it's, just use that analogy and go from there.
All right. Do I need the amplifier for the Alban ILX W650 if I'm going to hook it up a 4-channel amplifier to the stereo? So, no. I'm thinking you need the amplifier that you can put it behind the Alpine ILX. If you already have a 4-channel, no, you don't need to buy it. That's cool because that actually fits behind the radio and save you, and they can save you a lot of space. But if you already have a 4-channel amplifier, you don't need that Alpine amplifier.
As far as the question goes, do these have distortion detectors on them? I honestly don't know because we don't have any instructions on them. I will find out though. Yeah. I'll ask because there are 3 LEDs on the side of the amplifiers here. and they just have an on, a triangle, and a square. So basically, they have tic-tac-toe. So, but no, that is a great question, and thank you for asking, because I will definitely check with Tommy and find out what those 3 lights are for, and we'll go from there for sure. It hurts so good, right? Thoughts on the Kenwood DNX 977XR? Those are good thoughts. Run with those thoughts. You should own those thoughts. You should own those thoughts and put those thoughts in your dash.
All right, best speakers for 1990 pickup. They are 4-inch.
Check out the new Focal KS. Okay, no, not. Why did I say Focal?
What?
Check out the new
Kicker
KS 4 inches. Those are phenomenal. Now, if you're trying to do something and you want to like the best of the best, thank you, sir, then check out the Morel Hybrid 4-inch components. Okay, that's a serious speaker right there. But you know, those are 2 extremes. So
do you have any reaction of a customers? Oh, videos of customers' reactions.
No, most of the time we don't, because then we got to get approval because we're using their likenesses, and it's just a lot of effort that
And sometimes I really expect more than what they gonna give.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I never
because really?
I don't know. All my guys, anytime I demo a car, people, I mean, it might just be me, but most people when I demo a car are like,
oh no, I know, but they're like, okay, not a lot of people are like, oh,
well, think of it like this.
They like,
all right,
oh man, sounds good.
All right, well, look at it like this. If you were to demo a car to me,
yeah,
okay, knowing my personality, you would just leave there crying. Because you'd be like, man, I spent all this time.
I would not demo. I would just like, hey, you go, man.
Yeah, but you don't. But you don't know me. So you'd be like, you'd just be demoing the car, and I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. I don't get excited really.
Yeah, exactly. That's
this stuff excites me. You know, like when we get to do unboxings and like, oh yeah, smell new electronics smell. But like my wife and daughter, Haley and Sue, will both tell you, it's like it takes a lot to just like get full Dean.
Oh yeah. Somebody give you $100 and it's like, $100. I'm like, dude, it's $100.
I don't do this with it. I mean, I put it in my pocket, but it's like it's not like yeah. Dean, would you be able to cut me up something for my dash speaker brackets? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
I like my chances against D in wrestling match.
Okay, so.
Oh, dude,
man.
You know what? I'd see. Wow. So Vega and Big D, wrestling would definitely be the way to go. Fist fight, no, I don't want to see those guys fist fight. I want to see them hucklebuck sumo wrestler style, go to town, like not even like full on, like just like charging each other, like belly bucking. That would be that would be cool. We could make money doing that.
Jack Dale, I'm definitely wanna hear you, Mazda man. He has
I see that.
Yeah, the ARC audio and the AMS 3-way, and it's like awesome. Hopefully one day.
Oh yeah, that's what's his name.
Jack Dale.
Yeah, but what does he go by? Doesn't he?
Jack Dale.
Shut up. They call him something else. He's got a nickname. Putz. Yeah, no, but he just finished. They just did. Anthony, when he was making videos, they just tuned it. He just tuned it to the thing. Yeah, next year for sure. We'll be there next year.
Hopefully next year.
Okay, if we can travel, we'll be there next year. Call Paul about coming out before Lauderdale is 17. Okay. Listen to just all types of music. Roll versus. Since I've never heard of it. I probably need to get back with you. We've been like running behind as far as getting calls back, so he probably hasn't talked to me about that one yet, but just be patient. We're still about 3 weeks out right now anyway, so just be patient. You will hear back from me soon, hopefully tomorrow or the day after.
Definitely.
What would make Dean happy would be if he could be in his 20s and lose all his stress.
Oh no, you probably have the same stress.
When I was in my 20s, I was very stressed out.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
gonna lie. It was. I can't honestly think of a time.
Jack.
None. Jack. Thank you. Jack. See, I knew it. I honestly can't think of a time where I wasn't under a lot of pressure, either it's self-induced or not. Because I mean, you got to figure. Honestly, I think the last time that I really wasn't stressed out, even that level was low, was high school, senior year of high school. And even that was kind of stressful because it was like I wasn't the best in high school.
Since I know you, you've always been like...
But I had the most fun in since then, though, it's like...
That was like 50 years ago.
Yeah, it was. You know, the first couple of years of car audio weren't stressful. But I had other things that were stressful because I was going to college and I was also working for Procter & Gamble. So I had like 3 things going on at once.
Right.
So
now it's super stressful.
Always... Well, I honestly think there's always been too much going on at one time. I think for the last, like, 20 or 30 years, there's always 6 things at once.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just learned how to manage it, and it's what it is.
Dean, you miss it. Vega asked who will win between... are you kidding me? I will win, man. I'm so fast.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Me too. Me too.
No, that's not even anything I would even think about because it's, you know, who cares? You know, it's all just fun and games.
I would want to see Big and Vega
belly bumping. Dude, let me tell you what, I can't wait to meet them at some point. At some point, we gotta hang out with them because I just want that picture where it's these 2 guys that are like this much taller than us, and it's like, God. You know, because they're both like 6 foot something, and I'm like 5'8", and you're what, 5'2", 5'1"? You're 5'1"? Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, they got like a shit. One of them I think has like a foot and an inch on you.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think one of them's 6'2". So that's like, it's like that, dude. That's a head and a half. Fernando, you look like a guy from the. Do you know who that is? Sonero Dimitria. Up here? No, it says you. No, you're.
Fernando.
Big D. D's taller than me. I'm 6'3". Holy crap! They're like, they got you by like, I mean, he's got me by a ton, but I mean, wow. Dang.
Yes.
Dang, Vega. Yeah.
Claro que sí, Jose.
You know who would be good in a room?
Who?
D, Vega, and...
Encima. They're going to go Encima. Hopefully. I don't think it's going to...
I don't think Seema's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, the plan,
hopefully.
Yes, we're keeping hope alive, but I don't think Seema's going to happen. But, you know, if it does, we're going to be there, and we'll see
6'3", wow.
Okay, you know, Mark, Cardio Fab Mark,
and
Vega, and D would probably be all 3 the same.
I don't want to be. I need like...
And we'd just be like the little kids walking around. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, Dad! Insert size doesn't matter joke.
Yeah, no kidding.
We call him Big D for a reason. I thought it was.
I have no idea.
I thought it was for his dummies things. There, dummy, you big dummy. I don't know. I mean, if you've seen his D, well, you guys really are tight.
Okay, how do we went to freaking car audio to talk about?
Well, Brad pretty much summed it up right there. I just farted. It smells like burnt popcorn. Hey, it's fun to go down the road. Have I mentioned this is the SoundDigital prototype 5,000 watt amplifier? Right. Hell yeah, it's the Evo X 5001, which we got wrong in the unboxing that we just did live. But that's okay. We're gonna have fun with these. This is the 3,000 watts. 3,000 watts. And the reason why these are here is because a fan of the show dropped this off. This is a Sherwood 240, 240 watts, 3,000 watts. Welcome to the now. Welcome to the 80s. All right, cool. Back in business. All
Dean.
Right. Yes.
If you could talk to the Dean 15 years ago, what would you tell him about car audio? Don't get into car audio.
I would want to talk to the Dean back in like 92, 93. Because the Dean 92, 93 was a totally different Dean than the Dean that was, I don't even think going back that far is enough. I think it would have to be 92, 93 when I first got into this. Going back 10 years ago or 15 years ago really isn't going to be all that impressionable to me because most of what I do now is just an evolution of what that was. So as far as like the wiring and all that. If I was to go back to the young Dean, the fresh out of high school, just got my job in car audio, what would I tell him? I would tell him that, yeah, you can definitely be car stereo, you can make a living at it, you're going to do well, but buy an RTA a hell of a lot faster than you bought one. really, at the end of the day, that's the one tool that I look back on my career and say I should have had this years ago, because it just, and there again, it wasn't because they just weren't as readily available back then as they are now.
Wow.
We had the one AudioControl. Wow. Well, I knew he was tall, but damn. Dude, he's a trucker, man. No one want to mess with him. If he stepped out of a truck because I cut him off, I'd be like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Here's a 20.
I would run under the truck.
Give me 2 steps, baby. 2 steps towards the door. But anyways, back to that. I would just say, hey, and the other thing I think I'd do is, so I spent a lot of the time in my early years very narrowly focused on a few things. It wasn't until much later that we got outside.
Tell Odin to buy an Orion Beast that you can.
I would love to. You know I want one, Jeff. You're so mean. I want one so bad. Anyways, I would be like, yeah. That's true. Buy an Orion Beast. And keep your Macintosh amplifiers. But I think one of the things too, I would probably have told that dean to get out of the shop that I was in more, because we were a small independent shop, and that was the Kool-Aid I was drinking, and I drank that Kool-Aid for a really long time. Granted, we learned a lot, and it was nice, but it's just such a different environment now than it was back then for us in this. I mean, yeah, so it's hard to say. Tell a young need to buy stocking and zip ties. Yeah, no shit, right? How can I improve my sound? My 2014 Ford F-150, I have a Pioneer 8200 and stock speakers. Please advise. First thing I do is think about getting some new speakers. Those factory speakers suck. And you don't have to go crazy. If you just want to keep the factory radio, check out some Kicker speakers, some Kicker CS or KS 5x7s.
He has a 8200.
Yeah, that's fine. I saw that. That's what I'm saying. If you want to keep, did I say stock radio? Yeah. I meant Pioneer radio. Yeah. My bad. Just replacing the speakers is going to improve. There's no tweeters in the car. It's just a crappy $5 Ford. Replacing that with some better 5x7s, there again, you don't have to go crazy because you still have the 8200. Now, if you really want to take it to the next level, maybe think about getting a small 5-channel amplifier, an 8 or a 10-inch subwoofer to go into the car behind the seat or under the back seat, and 4 new speakers. That would be nice. Now, there's not a lot of room in that, so for that, you might want to think about doing like a full Exelon system, because Exelon has the 801.5 or 802.5. I don't remember which one it is. It's a little 5-channel amp. It's like this big. It's honestly, it's smaller than this, but it's thinner than this. It's about that big. It's a 5-channel. It's really nice. You can do that. Do 2 sets of Exelon 5x7s in the doors. Kenwood has a bunch of these little tiny boxes that they make that just like can go anywhere on a hump and or whatever. Something like that would be killer, and not too crazy.
Hey, Alex. All right, thank you for all the info you guys have provided. The channel, it helped me to raise what a proper. I have been buying tools and materials. My system. Yep. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for watching.
Go up a bit. Oh no, I was saying. Is that a Kicker Warhorse behind you? New to the channel. Yes, that is a Kicker Warhorse. So the story, just for the new guy. So if you go on to our YouTube channel, you'll see where we have had 2 trips to Kicker. Yep. The first trip was 2 years ago, and we got to interview Steve Irby. We had a good time. That led to the second trip, was me going and doing a full documentary on the engineering side of Kicker. So we got to interview engineers, both speaker and amplifier engineers, and then we got to have a lot of fun just playing with amplifiers and just walking around talking to tech support guys. It was a really fun video, and as a thank you for doing the video, this little squiggly thing above my head right here, that's Steve Irby's signature. But this is a thank you that they gave us for going. It is a non-functional Warhorse. The preamp section has been removed from it. It's just purely a token, and it is probably the coolest.
I mean, but
token.
the power supplies and all
the
that
power,
stuff
the still
there.
The
planar
power supplies are all still in it. It's an awesome, like, yeah. So prized possession on the wall back there, yes, for sure. This is the coolest thing ever. Plus they asked, they're like, would you like? Yes, I would. Yes, I'll take it. Give it to me. The Kicker Doc, DOC is a must-watch YouTube. Oh, documentary. Oh yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Vega. And they got to go. That was the funny thing they were talking about.
They went. Yeah.
Well, they were like, we should be filming all this crap, and he's like, Dean's already done that. Let's just enjoy ourselves. I was like, yeah. I mean, that's I will take my not enjoying myself so that you can enjoy yourself and go and have a good time.
I'm down for that.
Which company do you plan to visit next if you can? So we actually have been lining companies up back in January and February because it was something, because obviously we've done Kicker. We've done AudioControl, and AudioControl we did in December, and it was a whirlwind, great time we had there. We got to shoot 2 or 3 videos of them. We had a blast, and we were actually set up to do a couple more companies, but then the COVID happened, and that pretty much stopped all that. Companies that we want to do right now that, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna event. I mean, at some point we'll get to do them. Rockford Fosgate was on the list. We were gonna go out there and hang out with Eric and see all the design team and how everything gets done at Rockford Fosgate. We're also gonna go. Obviously, we have a special working relationship with Amp Global.
Yep.
So I had come up with, and I don't just say let's do it. I come up with a pitch and an idea to make things interesting and fun and exciting, and hopefully something you guys want to watch, because that's the key. If you don't watch it, what fun is that? So obviously we came up with ideas for each one. Like Rockford, we have a plan as far as what we want to do when we go there. The next one is Amp Global. We have a really cool idea that we want to do there. Audison Hertz is in Italy.
It's in Italy.
So that would be... Don't get me wrong, I would love to go to France and Italy to see those two guys, and Israel to see Morel. But, obviously we'll take care
baby steps.
We'll do stateside first.
Yeah.
Did I miss the birthday party update from Fernando? No, actually, how was the birthday party?
That was awesome. That was my daughter's 15th birthday, so they have fun. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on.
Yeah, I'm hanging on.
I need to be Rockford Fosgate.
Yeah, I agree. And it would have been. Dude, we had it. We were so close.
What you guys power a Rockford T215?
I would get either a BD 1500 or BD 2500.
Dude, 1500. 15
I mean,
T2, yeah?
I would want the 2500. I might get the 2500.
Okay.
I'd get the 2500. I'm not going to lie. I would just get the 2500.
Okay.
I mean, why not? T2 all the way, depending. Yeah, I would get a 2500.
Yeah.
Because, for one, the 2500 is just the coolest thing ever. It's got the cool LEDs on it. Yeah. In a couple of years. I know, right?
Tell me.
Oh, yeah, I would totally do that. Oh.
Which one?
Go to SoundDigital.
Yeah.
Go to Brazil. Oh, for sure.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, take Daisy.
Take Daisy. Yeah, Daisy.
But, no. Oh, I mean, the thing is with all these manufacturers, there's always a fun story to tell. And I was always, when I was brought up into car audio, part of selling, because before I was an installer, you always start out small as a sales guy or as the guy that cleans the bathrooms or whatever. And, you listen to all these guys, and you listen to the guys that come in, and one of the things that I've always really stuck to my guns on is the story. And this is okay. We're gonna end on this one because this is pretty cool. There's a company called PS Audio. They do home audio, real expensive home audio stuff. And the guy that runs it is an audio god of home audio, and he came up with, and he put in words something that I've been thinking for years. And the question that people always ask them, because they're an amplifier manufacturer, is what speakers should I run on your amplifiers? And you guys ask us nonstop. What speakers should I buy? Should I buy X? Should I buy Y? If I have this, and he put it in a term, and this all goes back to story, telling a story. And essentially, what it comes down to is pick a company that has similar beliefs to you. And he used 3 examples. One was JBL, Sonus, and Klipsch, okay, which are 3 home audio brands that most of you guys know who they are. JBL Been around forever, definitely one of the big dogs in the industry, but most of their focus isn't necessarily on home audio, it's on studio and event. Okay, so they make a lot. So as a home audio guy, that might not be the company that you want to invest your money in because they don't really have the same ideals that you have. Then you look at Sonos. Sonos makes great products. They're the most connected products out there. So like if you got a smartphone and you want sound throughout your house, you go to Sonos. However, if you're a purist and you're an audio guy, SQ as it were, you really don't want to get involved in a company that does little tiny Bluetooth speakers because they're not making products that you necessarily are behind. They're not fulfilling your need. And then you look at Klipsch, who used to be a badass home audio speaker manufacturer, but has since changed to make it boom and make it sizzle. All right, which is great if you're into like theaters, which is what they make a lot of. They make really awesome theater speakers because you get a lot of boom hiss, boom hiss, boom hiss. But if you're a left and right audio guy, might not necessarily be a company that you're interested in spending money with because they're not looking after what your interests are. So when it comes down to car audio and what speakers to buy, look at the manufacturers that you're going to be dealing with. Are they something that is doing products that fit your need? Or are you just buying them because, like, you just buy Nikes because they make Jordans and you get behind Jordan. So you're always going to be buying Jordans. You know, I buy these silly shoes, you know, I can't get my foot up that high, with the toe socks as everyone calls them.
Gloves.
You know, because I like them, but I also like the story that the company, they fit my narrative, as it were. So when you're deciding on these things, look at the company. Look how they treat their employees. Do they even have employees? I mean, there again, we're stretching it here only because, like, you look at some of these companies and they're like, all they have is 5 guys in a warehouse. That's fine. If that is your narrative, then 5 guys in a warehouse is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Because they're making what you want. I want something that's cheap, and I want this, and I want that. And it's like, well, they ticked all the boxes for you. Go. You know, who cares about anything else? But, you know, if you're looking at, like, let's say Audison, for example, and it's an Italian company, hand-built in Italy. When you look at, like, the amplifiers, the Thesis amplifiers, they're made by, like, 2 guys, and they make, like, what, 1 a day, like 3 a week. You know, just the attention to detail that they put into it. When they make their speakers overseas, they make them in a way that nobody else makes them. They actually went and built their own facility overseas to build it. It's manned by Italians. So they actually live there. It's just the most impressive building overseas that I've ever seen, as owned by a company, which is very hard to do overseas. So, you know, that's just something to think about when you're like, granted, I understand, it gets deep, but I like the story. I like being able to tell the story. So, like, you know, Kicker has an awesome story. It's still owned by Steve Irby. It's not a big corporation. They're not publicly traded. It's owned by him and his wife. They make all the decisions. Technically, this is his, because it's on loan to 2 guys in a white van. Oh, yeah, right? So, like, this is on loan to Schneid, John, and John loaned it to us. So, technically, this is still Steve's. This isn't mine. It's Steve's. You know, and there again, I mean, these are SoundDigitals. We get to play with them, but at the end of the day, unless they say you keep them.
We're going to keep them.
Which we'll probably keep them. Unless we manage to blow them up and then we'll want them back so they can figure out what we did wrong.
Yeah, why not?
So, Harman Kardon. So, there's a fun story there. Harman Kardon. Great guys work there. However, something to think about, what is the story of the company? Now the company is owned by Samsung, which if you're a Samsung fan, pooh, man, your head is blown, bro, because now it's like, Samsung owns my favorite speaker company. Let's do business, baby. Yeah. So I feel you have to look at more and look at the story, you know, and it's always great. When you can feel like you're part of something or someone can make you feel like you're part of this experience, then it just makes those products that much better. And just like you guys are all fans of the show, we take everything you say to heart. When we don't do a good job, we feel bad. and you let us know, and we always try to do better because we want you to feel like you're a part of the show.
Yep.
And that's our story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
All right, guys. I haven't seen that Hyphonics amp, but that sounds pretty cool.
600.5.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you, Eric. Okay. Harman Mark Levinson brand. Yep, they do. All right, guys, listen, that's it. That's a Monday. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Let's go over a couple of the to-do things, just in case you're wondering. At the beginning of the show, we talked about it. You still have time to get in to save $100 on your DMRTA Pro kit. So save $100 by using this. If you guys haven't done this yet, I don't want to keep saying this, but dude, head over to educartraining at teachable.com. If you guys have questions about DSPs, which I know all of you do, pay the $29 and watch the DSP class. If you don't come away from that knowing like 100% more than you knew about DSP, how it works, how to tune it, what's going on, what do I look for, then you're doing something wrong. The basic class is $20. The DSP class is $29. Dude.
Worth it.
It's an hour-long class, okay? You just spend an hour here having fun. You'll be smarter when you're done with this. Not necessarily how it works with us. Patreon.com is a place you can go to support the show. Oh, and then if you guys, DNF Tool Drawer, you got dnfttooldrawer.com. Teesprings, you can get cool shirts. And of course, for those of you, if you want 5-star stickers, your home address, to email it to 5starsticker@yahoo.com.
Yeah.
We need your home address so we can mail them to you. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to head over to our Instagram page.
Tomorrow we have a good surprise to unbox.
Oh, on Instagram?
Yeah.
William
tomorrow.
Burke. Sir William Burke. But yes, it's totally worth it, Tommy. I agree. You have Tommy's endorsement, and Tommy's the guy that was nice enough to send us these. So trust Tommy. Tommy's good.
Tommy's good.
So Evo X. So those of you guys that are interested, make sure you head over to SoundDigital.com or GroundZero.com and look for a dealer near you. One thing about them is you need to find a dealer.
Right there. See? 5,000 Evo.
Yeah, it's on there, not on the box.
Jesus, man.
You know, brings me to that Tommy Boy moment. You can put whatever you want on the box. Where's the box going to go? Into the trash. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tommy, for putting that up. Ground Zero. So, if any of you guys are interested in that cool Ground Zero sound treatment, head over to groundzero.com. That way, USA, groundzerousa.com. They will direct you towards a dealer that can get that stuff for you. Or
and
you just
SoundDigitalUSA.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you so much for putting that in there for us.
Yep.
You guys are the best. You guys have a wonderful week. Remember, Saturday we'll be back. Fernando will be on the Saturday show. He's not taking another day off. I might, but he's not. And of course, like I said earlier, follow us on Instagram. We do a lot of fun there.
It's a lot of fun.
All right.
See you guys.
See you. Have a wonderful night.